Is that a little too loud? Test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can everyone hear me okay in the back? All right.
See if we can get some of these people to move down for you.
Yeah. So, all my friends over here, if we can just keep filling back, we still got some more people coming in. So I want to make sure that we have room for everybody and everybody can see all the animals. So if you are kind of in especially this area, but also just anywhere that you might see room, just keep on moving down. I promise everyone's going to get a great look at everything. All right. All right, well I think, are we all ready to get started, everybody? Yeah? All right, so for our hosts, we're all good to go? All right, tech, you guys are all good? Awesome, awesome. This is like the most production I've ever had. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, normally this is me just yelling at the top of my lungs, so this is pretty crazy for me too. All right, well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Awesome, glad to hear it, glad to hear it. You guys all ready for the new year? Yeah, we're all gonna pretend things change. That's my favorite part of it. It's like, this is gonna be the best one, and then like 3 days go, and you're like, oh, whatever. Well, in order to celebrate the end of the year, they brought me back. I was here last year. Was anyone here last year with me seeing all my animals that I brought last time? All right, so we got a couple of us. Welcome back. Now, other than those of you who were here last year, has anyone ever seen wildlife encounters before anywhere? Library, school? Yeah, we got quite a few of us. Welcome back. Now, who here has never seen us ever in their entire lifetime? All right, so we got a few of us. And who here, you can't even remember what you ate for breakfast this morning? How are you supposed to remember if you've seen us before? Couple of us, that's totally fair. We were at school with you? That's pretty awesome. Now, for those of you guys who haven't seen us, and a little refresher for those of you who have, we are a rescue organization located out of Rochester, New Hampshire, so a little over half an hour away from here. And we take in animals that were injured in the wild and can't survive there anymore, animals that were people's pets that they either can't take care of anymore or weren't supposed to have in the first place, as well as animals born at other zoos like our own and needed a new home for whatever reason that may be. I'm just going to kill that a little bit. I'm getting a lot of feedback. So yeah, we take in those animals, we give them a new job. Their job is to be an ambassador. An ambassador is an animal that's going to represent their species, their continent, their habitat, whatever. And they're going to help me teach you guys all about all that really important stuff. Now today we are going to be taking a global tour. So a global tour means that we are going to be visiting 6 out of the world's 7 continents. Now, does anyone have a guess what continent we won't be visiting today? Antarctica. Unfortunately, fresh out of penguins, it's kind of difficult to visit there when they're like the only animal that lives there, right? So no penguins, so no Antarctica, but we are going to be visiting the others, which are North and South America, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Europe. Now we're going to be taking this tour, we're going to be meeting these animals, so before we do that, I just got to give you guys a couple rules. Now, rule number 1, and this is a little less important here than it would be if I were on the floor, but I'm going to ask you guys to remain in your seats as much as possible. If you guys are up, moving around, jumping, dancing, anything like that, what's going to happen is you guys might scare the animals. And you guys know what scared animals do? Yeah! What do? Run away. They run away? I'm not too worried about them running away. I've got a pretty good grip on them. They might attack someone. You're exactly right. They're going to bite. Now, who are they going to bite? Are they going to bite you guys? No, that's way too much paperwork for me to do. Who are they going to bite? You. They're going to bite me, and I really don't want that to happen. I got parties to go to after this. Yeah, I don't want to be in the ER for anything. So please do remain in those seats. Of course, you're not a captive audience. If you have to leave for whatever reason, if you're bored and you're just like, this is insanely boring, I can't believe my kids dragged me here, totally understandable. You are welcome to leave, but I am going to... That's weird. Let's hope that's the only time it does that. But you are welcome to leave, but I am going to ask if you're planning on staying. Please do remain in those seats. It'll make it a lot easier for all of us. Now my next rule is I'm going to have some people come up and help me out throughout our presentation. If I call on you, please do come up. If I do not call on you, please don't. I can only have so many people on the stage at once. So I will pick you, but if I don't pick you, I promise at the end of the show, you will all get a chance to pat one animal, okay? I promise. So with that said, are you guys ready to start our show? Yeah! All right, so am I. So we're gonna get started with our first animal. We're gonna be visiting North America. Now, of course, that's the continent that we are in right now. We live here. So, can anyone tell me any North American animals? Any kind of animals that you might see somewhere in North America? A bear. You would see bears. We have a lot of bears in North America, right? We have brown bears, black bears, and polar bears. What was that? A deer. Yeah, we have all kinds of deer as well. Snakes. We do have snakes here. Eagles, yup, our national bird even. Foxes. No. What do you got? What was that? Parrots in North America? Nah, they're more of a South America animal. All right, we'll take a couple more. What was that? Turkeys, absolutely. Pigs, yeah. Well, hawks. So you guys all guessed a bunch of North American animals, but you did not guess the one that I have with me today. The one I have with me today is a very misunderstood North American animal, and it makes me kind of sad. But I think you guys are going to really love her. I am going to ask that we keep our voices down, though, because she's a little bit shy. And this animal, when she gets shy, you guys might not like it that much. So I'm going to introduce everybody. Here she comes. Can you let go of that thing? Can you let go, please? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I need that piece too. I need that piece too. Thank you. All right, well, here she is. Now, does anyone know what animal this is? You guys can just say, it is a skunk. Very good job. This one here is Bree. Bree is our striped skunk. She is one of our 3 baby striped skunks. All of them are named after stinky cheeses. So we have Bree, we have Munster, and we have Monterey Jack. Those are our 3 skunks' names. Now, these skunks, they're an animal from North America. Some of you guys might have even seen them in your backyards. Raise your hand if you've ever had a skunk in your backyard. Yeah, a bunch of us. Now raise your hand if you've ever had a dog, a cat, a grandpa, anyone get sprayed by a skunk. Yeah, we got quite a few of us, a lot of the same hands. Now, if you've ever had a dog, a cat, grandpa, brother, sister, in my case, my dad, if you've ever had them sprayed by a skunk, that means that they have ignored a lot of warning signs. And the reason for that is skunks are very clean animals. You wouldn't really think that, but they're super clean. They hate being dirty, and most importantly, they hate the smell of their own spray. Skunk spray stinks. Anyone here like the smell of skunk spray? Nobody? A couple of us maybe? Yeah, there's always a couple weirdos out in the crowd, right? Now, skunks though, they hate it, just like most of us do, right? So, skunks instead give you a couple warning signs. So the first warning sign we can all do. Everyone stomp your feet, just like this. Good job. Everyone downstairs is going to be very confused. Now, these guys, they stomp their feet. That's their first defense. They're going to stomp their feet. And if you ever see a skunk and it starts stomping at you, oh, you guys can stop stomping now. Thank you. Once those skunks start stomping, that means you need to turn away and walk away slowly. That skunk is giving you a warning like, hey man, you are getting a little bit too close. I don't really like how close you are. Please leave my area. Well, the next thing the skunk's going to do if you don't listen to that first warning is they might get up on their hands and do a handstand. And if they do a handstand, that means you have time to turn around and run away. That skunk is telling you, all right, man, check it out. This is my butt. I leak gross stuff out of it. You need to leave immediately because I am about to let it loose. And then, if you ignore that, the skunk will then drop back down to all fours, turn around, lift its tail up, and in that moment, you do not have time to run or to walk. All you have time to do is pray, because you are about to get sprayed. The skunk can spray up to 26 feet away from you. So, there is not a distance that you are going to be able to get in the time when he lifts his tail before he is going to spray you. Now, the thing about skunks is, adult skunks will give you all 3 of those warning signs. Baby skunks like Bree here, they might not even give you a single one. And that's because skunks are what we call a 6-gun animal. They have 6 in the chamber at all times. If they use those 6, they're out. They have to reload, and that'll take them a while. Their body has to produce it. So a skunk can spray within 6 times and within 24 hours. And that skunk will generally try to hold it for if they're in real danger. But a baby skunk doesn't know any better. A baby skunk is going to just let it loose on the first try. So, baby skunks are especially stinky. Now, obviously I've been talking a lot about how stinky these little skunks are, but Bree here I'm holding with my bare hands. I have her out here looking at you guys, and her butt is pointing at all of you guys. So why do you guys think Bree here has not sprayed? What do you think? She's not allowed to? You're kind of right. But like I can't really. She's all out? You think I just like loosened it in the parking lot? I just went like ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. No, then it would be all over me. What do you guys think? Let's see. How about my friend in the green sweatshirt? She's what? She's calm. Well, she is calm, right? But that's not really why. That's a good guess, though. I'll take one more guess. She doesn't know how to? No, she very much knows how to. The reason that Bree here didn't spray is because she can't. Bree was born in Ohio, and in Ohio it is legal to own pet skunks. But in order to legally have a skunk as a pet in Ohio, you have to surgically remove their glands. So they went, as soon as she was a baby, they opened her up, they took the glands that produced that stinky smell. Bree was then rescued. We took her in. She was not allowed to go be a pet because she was sold to somebody who did not live in Ohio, where it was not legal. Now, just because it's legal in Ohio, I see a lot of you guys, like, you got your phones out, you're planning your trip to Ohio right now. As adorable as she is, and as much as I love little Bree here, this is not an animal that you want in your house. Not only is it incredibly traumatic for them to have that scent gland removed. The reason they get those scent glands removed is because it stinks and it's kind of inconvenient, right? But if that is their main defense, that's how they feel comfortable. Imagine, how do we defend ourselves? Right? Maybe, what body part might we use? Yeah.
I might use my foot.
You might use your foot. Some of us might use them to run away, or our karate master might use them to kick, right? But imagine if in order to keep you guys, because some alien wanted to look at you for a little while, imagine if they took away your feet so you can't run away. That wouldn't be very nice, would it? You probably wouldn't enjoy that very much. Well, it's the same thing with a skunk. It can actually be really stressful for them to not have that sprayer. Now, we try to give Bree here as normal a life as she can. She lives outdoors year round. When she's not working with me, she gets to dig and burrow and do all the things that skunks would naturally do. But she cannot spray, and in moments where she's really uncomfortable, that is a really stressful thing. So even though it's legal in some places, it is not recommended because it's not very good animal welfare. It's a really bad thing. The reason you don't see a lot of skunks in zoos around the world is, one, they hide, so they're not a great exhibit animal, but two, they have to have that scent gland removed, so that it's not really nice to do it. Most places, the only time they've taken skunks are when they were rescued pets or injured in the wild and can't survive there anymore. So that's the case with skunks. Now, skunks, their spray, the reason it smells so bad is it actually has a chemical makeup very similar to mustard gas. Yeah, mustard gas, an actual war crime, and this guy makes it naturally. Now, it's not toxic, it's not like mustard gas, but it has a similar chemical makeup where it can mimic it. So, if you ever get sprayed by a skunk, raise your hand if you've had a dog get sprayed. Yeah. When it comes in, what is it doing? It's kind of like huffing and puffing, it's drooling a lot, maybe its eyes are leaking. That's because when this skunk sprays, that spray gets into your face and your body treats it like a toxic gas. It needs to get it out. You're going to start, your nose is going to run and run and run. Your mouth, you're going to drool. It's going to be uncontrollable, like drooling. You're going to vomit a lot. Your eyes, you're going to cry and cry. And that's the best way they can defend themselves. And a lot of animals learn after one spray. We probably shouldn't mess with that striped cat anymore. Except dogs. Dogs never learn, right? Now, dogs don't learn, but neither does my dad. My dad has been feuding with the skunk in our backyard for the past 10 years. The reason he feuds with it is because it rips up our lawn, and my dad loves his lawn. He's very proud of it. My dad actually loves his lawn more than he loves me, I think, sometimes, because he has more pictures of it on Facebook. But this skunk has been going around, it rips up his lawn because, anyone know why he might be ripping up his lawn? Is it because he hates my dad? After 10 years, maybe, but why might he be ripping up the lawn? He's looking for food, and that food is grubs, little beetles, little baby beetles, and they eat your grass from the roots. Anyone ever had grubs in their lawn? Yeah, it's pretty hard to treat. Well, my dad doesn't really care about that because all he sees is the holes the skunk made. So my dad decided that the way he's going to control this skunk is what he's going to do is he's going to put out a have a heart trap. Anyone ever used a have a heart trap? Yeah, they're awesome. They're really good for catching squirrels or raccoons or porcupines or woodchucks or even bobcats and foxes. You want to know what they're not good for catching? An animal with a built-in projectile. Because what they can do is just spray right through the cage. And my dad got sprayed 5 times. My dad then went on and he moved away from the have a heart trap. And what he did is he decided that he was going to go out with pots and pans and scare it away. Skunks, when they get scared, spray. So as my dad's banging together, he gets sprayed again. My dad was then told to go sleep in the car. So he sleeps in the car with the headlights on and honks every time he sees the skunk. And then he gets sprayed again. Skunk went away for a little while. It eventually came back. My dad was watering his lawn. The skunk comes out. He sprays it in the face with a hose. Skunk turns around, lets another one rip. One day, my dad was doing the same thing, decided to spray it, but didn't realize that that skunk was now mama skunk and had 5 little babies with her. Now, babies can spray as soon as they open their eyes. So my dad had 1 skunk turn around and then 5 little babies. And he got sprayed by 6 skunks at the same time. My dad's been feuding with these skunks forever, and I don't think he'll ever let it go. But I just wanted to tell you that even though he gets sprayed all the time, it doesn't mean the skunks enjoy spraying. It's because my dad's kind of a jerk to them. These skunks are actually doing you a lot of favors when they rip up your lawn. I know it might not seem like it, but those grubs do a lot more damage than any skunk is ever going to do. So if you ever see a skunk in your backyard, try to live peacefully with it. Or if you really need to get rid of it, call somebody who's a professional. Don't do it yourself. You're going to regret it. With that said, does anyone have any real quick skunk questions? Let's see. How about right here? Does it really stink? Have you ever smelled the skunk spray?
Yes, I smelled a dead skunk.
Yeah. Did you think it smells do you think it really stinks?
Yeah, it smells really bad.
Yeah, so I personally think it smells horrible. I think it smells gross. But we had somebody back here raise their hand and say they enjoy the smell. So I guess that's kind of a matter of opinion, right? Some of us like bacon, some of us don't like bacon. Some of us like ice cream, some of us don't like ice cream. Some of us like skunk spray, some of us don't. It's just a matter of opinion. All right, let's see. I will take another question. How about right here? Little dinosaur guy. You can catch a lot of things if you have a cage, right? But you got to be careful about what you catch. Oh yeah? All right, guys, well, we're going to move on to our next animal, and we're going to head to South America. Now, South America, I have 2 animals from it. So I'm going to start off with our small fuzzy animal. You guys like small fuzzy animals? Yeah, we all love small fuzzy animals. So I'm going to introduce you. Her name is Rosie. She's super sweet. So when Rosie comes out, I want you guys all to go, aww. Can you guys practice that? There we go. So when I take Rosie out, on the count of 3, we're all going to go, aw. It helps her feel a little better when she comes out. So on the count of 3, we're going to do it, okay? 3, 2, 1. There we go. That's the reaction I wanted. All right, now, some of you guys kind of realized that was a trick. What kind of animal is this? What kind of animal is Rosie? She is a tarantula. Very good job. Now, tarantulas are, of course, spiders. They're some of the largest spiders in the world, but Rosie here, she's a Chilean rosehair tarantula. She's one of the smaller tarantulas. So she's a big spider. Can my friends in the back, you guys can still see that, right? Yeah, if I brought out a little spider, you wouldn't be able to see it. So that's like a decent sized spider. If you saw something like this in your house, you probably wouldn't be very happy about it. But she is actually, for a tarantula, relatively small. Now the biggest tarantula in the whole wide world, the biggest spider, is called the Goliath bird-eating spider. And it's about as big as my face, not counting the legs. So that's a pretty large animal. Now, tarantulas are, of course, the third biggest fear in the world. Spiders in general are. Anyone want to guess what the first biggest fear in the world is? What do you think?
A blue whale.
The blue, well, that's the first biggest, but what's the first biggest fear in the world? What do you think? Alligator? No. What do you guys think the most people are afraid of? What do you think? Reptiles? Oh, sharks? No, not sharks. Clowns? No, good guess. A lot of people are afraid of clowns. What do you think? Spiders, that's the third one. The biggest fear in the world? It's actually public speaking. So right now, there are a bunch of you shaking in your boots as I stand up here. And the second, for those of you curious, is heights. But spiders are a huge fear. A lot of people are afraid of spiders. Raise your hand if you're afraid of spiders. A lot more of you guys reacted really negatively when I took her out than are willing to admit it. But, yes, these guys are pretty terrifying to a lot of people. And the reason they're so scary to so many people, there's two reasons. One of them, if we go back 100,000 years ago when humans are living in caves, it kept us alive. It made us safe. If a spider's in the corner of your cave, that spider could be really venomous. And if it comes down and bites you, there's no such thing as hospitals. So it's kind of difficult for you to get any medical care when the only medical care that cavemen believed in was opening up your skull and letting the ghosts out. So it's a little difficult to get good medical care back in the caveman days, right? So being afraid of spiders kept you alive. It's kind of the same as being afraid of the dark. Anyone afraid of the dark? Yeah, if you're afraid of the dark, that's totally okay. I've been afraid of the dark for a long time. It actually stopped about a week ago. But these spiders here were a fear that a lot of people had when they, because of that passing down over the generations. Now, the other reason so many people are afraid of spiders is because movies, TV, video games, books, all that stuff tell us to be. Raise your hand if you've ever seen or read any of the Harry Potter movies or books. Harry Potter, yeah. Harry Potter, giant spider tries to eat Harry Potter. How about Lord of the Rings? Any Lord of the Rings fans out there? Giant spiders try to eat the main characters. How about The Mandalorian? Anyone like The Mandalorian? Giant space spiders try to eat Baby Yoda and The Mandalorian, right? So in our fantasy, spiders are huge and they want to eat you. Is that real? No spider. Like I said, biggest spider in the world is as big as my face. It's scary a little bit, but it can't eat you. Now, another reason where a lot of people are afraid of spiders, though, is video games. Anyone ever played a video game with spiders in it? Yeah, I want to see a lot more hands up because I know for a fact a bunch of you have played Minecraft. Yeah. Minecraft has spiders, right? And they're huge. And they make a lot of noise and they're really dangerous, right? When I was a kid, when Minecraft first came out, I remember sitting in math class with a bunch of my friends. We sat in the back corner and we were on our laptops. We were supposed to be doing math problems on our laptops. We were allowed to listen to music, so we all put in headphones. We were not doing math problems. Instead, me and my friends, we were sitting in the back corner and we were playing Minecraft. Well, one of my friends all of a sudden got snuck up on by a spider and it screamed, that terrible spider scream, and he screamed. and my teacher came over and gave us all detention for playing games. So my friend doesn't like spiders because they gotten in trouble in math. Now, other spider things that are scary. Anyone go to a Spirit Halloween this year at all? Yeah, Spirit Halloween. It's an awesome store. When you first walk in, there's all the animatronics, right? You got Freddy Krueger, you got Jason, you got the It Clown, and then right down here, right about that tall, is something you probably don't notice, but when you walk by, it jumps out at you. Anyone know what it is? It's a big animatronic spider, right? Costs about $120. I bought one, I put it outside my apartment. It jumped out at me every time I walked by at night getting home from work, and then I threw the thing away. Those are scary. And if you are a kid and you see a giant spider jump out at you in the darkness while you're trick-or-treating, that's a reason that you might be afraid of spiders for the rest of your life. But one of my best friends, he's been my best friend since first grade, and he is petrified of spiders to the point if I FaceTimed him right now, just seeing the spider in my hand over the phone, he would hang up and run away. And the reason he's so afraid of spiders isn't Halloween, it isn't Harry Potter, it isn't Minecraft. The reason he's so afraid of spiders is a Christmas movie. Anyone know a Christmas movie featuring a tarantula? Home Alone. Now in Home Alone, Kevin's brother Buzz has a pet tarantula, right? And that pet tarantula, it climbs over the bad guy's face. And that spider climbing over Marv's face. Did anyone watch Home Alone this year for Christmas? Yeah. Now if you remember the scene where the tarantula is on his face, what does Marv do?
Scream.
He screams.
Then he does whack Harry with the stick.
Then he does whack Harry with the stick. But he starts off screaming right now. When he screams like that, that was not an actor's scream. That was not the scream of a man acting, because if it was, he would have won Best Actor of the Year at the Oscars. That was a real scream. That was a scream of a man who was not ready to put a spider on his face during work. And my friend got so afraid, not of the spider, but of the scream because of it, that he still can't look at spiders. So, all of that is reasons people are afraid of spiders. Now I'm going to tell you guys why you shouldn't be afraid of spiders. Number one, you need them to survive. If every spider disappeared tomorrow, anyone want to guess how long humans would last? What do you think?
It's like a game.
A day? You're not giving us enough credit. What do you think? 5 days? A little more credit, but still not enough. What do you think? A week? So we're just slowly creeping up. What do you think? A month? About 3 to 4 weeks. Humanity would last about 3 to 4 weeks, and the reason for that is, what do spiders eat? Nobody? They eat bugs. Spiders eat bugs, and bugs eat everything. If spiders disappeared, all the bugs would eat all of our food. They would eat all the crops. Soon we would have no vegetables or fruit to eat. Some of you guys might be like, yes, meat only. But guess what? The meat that we eat needs those vegetables too. So soon we'd run out of cows and chickens to eat. Then all we'd be able to eat is bugs. But you guys want to know what happens when those bugs eat all the food? The bugs don't have any food either, and they would die off. Soon, after about 3 to 4 weeks, there would be a worldwide famine. We'd be completely out of food, and pretty much all life on Earth would go extinct. Which is really, really crazy, and it's completely unrealistic to think about because spiders aren't going anywhere. But that's how important they were. Life on Earth depends on spiders, just like it depends on anything else. If you remove one thing from the circle of life, is it a circle anymore? No, it's just kind of the weird like open sea of life. And that doesn't really work out. If you remove one thing from the food web, you lose it. Now, I'm going to put Rosie away, but I did want to tell you Rosie was in my bare hands. Was that very safe? Raise your hand if you think, yeah, that's probably pretty safe because you're doing it. Now raise your hand if you think, no, there's no way that's safe, you're an idiot. And raise your hand if you don't want to be wrong, so you didn't raise your hand for either option. So, for me, it is safe. For you guys, it probably isn't. And the reason for that is, I've been working with spiders about 10 years. I've worked with a total of 25 spider species. I've been bit by about 25 spider species. I have worked with 106 total tarantulas. I have been bit by 105 total tarantulas. So I know that her venom, because she is venomous, doesn't affect me. It hurts, but I'm not allergic to it. Now raise your hand if you know if you're allergic to tarantulas or not. Put your hands down. No, you don't. You guys have never met a tarantula. No, we don't know tarantulas, right? So, if you've ever been bit by one, you will know that if you're allergic to that species or not. And that's because their venom isn't super deadly. It's kind of like a bee's. Is anyone allergic to bees, hornets, wasps, anything like that? Couple allergies? Well, if you're allergic to those, you're allergic to their venom. Raise your hand if you've been stung by a bee and you're still alive. Yeah. Congratulations, you're not allergic to bees.
I've been stung by a wasp.
By a wasp, bee, wasp, hornet, it's all the same thing. All right, we're going to meet our next South American animal. This is my absolute favorite animal, and if you were here last year, you'll probably remember her. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Good girl, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to meet Sophie. So this is Sophie. Sophie is our blue and yellow macaw, and Sophie is my absolute favorite animal in the whole world. And the reason Sophie is my favorite is because I'm Sophie's favorite person. Sophie here was raised by a woman. She was somebody's pet, kept her for around 20-ish years. And Sophie, eventually what ended up happening is that woman ended up having to move, couldn't take Sophie with her, so we ended up taking her in. Now the thing about macaws is they bond with one other individual their entire life. They will bond with that individual, they never want to be separated. Well, when Sophie's owner ended up surrendering her over to us, Sophie didn't like that too much. And she ended up hating everybody. Sophie, it took her about 6 years for any of my coworkers to be able to handle her, including my boss. There's your snacks. I knew I brought you one. Come here. Good girl. There you go. Now, Sophie, can you turn around so everyone can see it? Come on. Turn around, turn around. There you go. Look. Good girl. Now, Sophie ended up taking about 6 years to warm up to anybody, and she never really chose to form a bond, so she was never that attached to anybody. Now, on my first day working here, Sophie ended up being in her cage, and she got the nickname Devil Bird because she would bite everybody. A lot of people didn't like her. So Sophie was in her cage, and I was filling out paperwork, and she was just shaking the cage. She was not having a very good day. So my boss is like, I gotta let her out. She's super stressed out. Just back up. She's gonna try to attack you. Well, I had been working with birds at the time. I had worked, anyone ever been to York's Wild Kingdom? I worked there for about 8 years. I worked in the bird department for about 3 of those. And every bird there tried to kill me at least once. I had a hornbill almost rip out hair and make me look like my balding father. I had a swan almost break my leg. I had a cockatoo successfully break 3 fingers at once. And I had an ostrich jump over my head. Now, I'm not super tall, but I thought I was tall enough for an ostrich to not jump over me. Turns out that was not the case. So when I got this job, I was not very excited to be working with birds. In fact, I thought I wouldn't have to because we only have 4 birds and they all were bonded to somebody already. So I was like, yes, no birds. Well, Sophie's shaking her cage. He ends up letting her out. She comes right over to where I was standing. And she starts bobbing her head like this. Now that is her wanting something. And I knew that, so I went over and I looked at her and she starts reaching out with her foot like this. And I knew at that moment that I was stuck. My fate was sealed. I put my hand out like this. She stepped out onto it and she ended up nestling herself right into my neck. And basically chose for me that we are going to be a bonded pair. Now, I wasn't excited about that, but she was, and over the about 1.5 years that I've been working with Sophie, Stockholm Syndrome has set in, and I've ended up really liking her. Now, Sophie is a very intelligent animal. She's about as smart as a 4-year-old child. And because she's as smart as a 4-year-old child, sometimes that means she acts like one. Now, do we have any 4-year-olds in the audience? Raise your hand if you're 4. If you're 4, raise those hands. So we got some 4-year-olds now. When I talk about this next point, I just want you guys to know I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other 4-year-olds. But 4-year-olds can be messy. They can be very loud. They can be pretty bad at listening. Maybe they haven't stopped biting yet. Maybe they're picky eaters. There's a lot of stuff that dealing with a 4-year-old can be a little difficult with. Well, Sophie is all of that times 10, and she never grows out of it. Sophie has a scream of about 120 decibels. That's as loud as a jet plane taking off. Sophie bites with about 300 pounds per square inch of force. That's hard enough to break 3 fingers. Sophie, she's eating a walnut. Sophie also, you guys saw, she cracked into that walnut. That's a pretty tough thing to do. Now, Sophie also can be kind of picky. She's very messy and she doesn't always like the food that I bring her. She loves walnuts, she loves bananas. Yesterday I brought a walnut and a banana, she wanted nothing to do with them. She ended up wanting grapes. I didn't have grapes, so she kept yelling at me the whole way home, grape, grape, grape. We were in North Conway. I was driving down back roads towards Rochester and there wasn't a single grocery store open. So for about 2 hours I heard grape, grape, grape. I ended up bringing her and putting her into the back seat. She usually rides up front with me. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Now, Sophie can speak. She doesn't know words though. She kind of can associate them, but she can't make up words. She just kind of repeats what she hears. And sometimes that leads to her misinterpreting what something means. Now what that means is Sophie, apparently her owner must have had a thick Boston accent. Because Sophie heard the word shut it off and it came out as shut up. And so when we're in the car, if Sophie does not like the music that I'm listening to, she'll yell, shut up. And then she'll ask for music that she does like. So usually how it goes is, shut up, shake off, shake off, shake off. Does anyone know what song Sophie's requesting? What do you think? She is requesting Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Do we have any Swifties out there? Have you guys gotten over this year's events yet? Now, Sophie, she loves Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. It's her absolute favorite song. One day we drove to Connecticut. It was about a 4-hour drive. We listened to it 83 times in a row. It was literally the worst day of my life. Sophie also does like other music though. Anyone here like country music? Any country fans? Yeah, I'm not, but she is, so we listen to a lot of country music. Anyone here like Christmas music? I love it around Christmas time. Around October, not so much. Too early. April, absolutely not. Don't even want to hear it. Sophie likes it year round. This year, Halloween Day, we went to a Halloween party with Halloween-themed animals. So what kind of music do you think we listened to? You would think Halloween, right? We listened to Michael Bublé's Christmas album, because that's what she wanted to listen to. Now, Sophie loves music, and the reason Sophie loves music is because birds are actually really good at communicating through movement. They can move each individual feather on their face separately. So she can puff up those feathers and mean completely different things. They also move, like I said, bobbing her head. That's a way to get somebody's attention. To us, that would be her enjoying the music. So Sophie interprets the music as communication, and she will communicate through it. Now, are you almost done? I'm running out of things to say about you. Can you? You don't need to eat all the crumbs. I'm sorry. You don't need to. Thank you. Thank you. Can you step up? Can you step up?
Can you make her say something?
Can I make her say something? I can't make her do anything. The crazy thing about animals that a lot of people misunderstand. They think, oh, you work with animals, you can get whatever to do whatever. I worked with a tiger. You guys think I made that tiger do anything? No. I stayed until 9 o'clock one night when that tiger did not want to go into its house. We can't make animals do anything. We can convince them to, we can train them to, but if they don't want to do it, they don't do it. Can you step up? Can you do it, please? Please, please, please. Ups, ups, ups. Come on. As I said, come here. You don't need more nut. I'll give you more after. Come here. Come here. Are you saying something? Do you want to say something? Step up. Step up. Step up. Yeah, case in point. Come here. Come on. Do I have to get your stick? I didn't think I'd have to get the stick today. Hi. Now, Sophie usually does like to dance. So if she will step up for me, we're all going to dance with Sophie. If not, I'll have to fill the time elsewhere. Come on, up, up, up. Up, up, up. Sophie, 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 come on. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Step up, Sophie. Now this is how you hardwire a bird. Can't say no to the stick. All right, now Sophie, we are going to dance with her, so I need everyone to stand up for me, right where you are. And I'm gonna teach you guys the Sophie dance. The way you're gonna do it. If this ends up on TikTok, by the way, you'll hear from my lawyers. All right, so I'm gonna teach you guys the moves. The first step, you're gonna squat down like this. Then we're gonna stand back up. Then we're gonna squat back down. Then we're gonna stand back up. Back down, back up, do a backflip. I'm just kidding. All right, are you guys ready to do the Sophie dance? Sophie, are you ready to do this? Yeah, I gotta turn it around. All right, on the count of 3, we're all gonna do it together, okay? We're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Sophie dance. No? Can you do it, please? 3, 2. Hey, pay attention. 3, 2, 1. Sophie dance. Can you? There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little better. There we go. All right, well, give yourselves a big round of applause. Can I have kisses? Good girl. All right, well, we're gonna put Sophie away. And our next animal, we're gonna head across the Atlantic Ocean, and we are going to head to Africa. Now, Africa is home to the world's megafauna. Megafauna means giant animal. So a lot of the giant animals around the world, like elephants, giraffes, hippos, rhinos, those are all giant animals from Africa, right? Well, we do have another giant animal from Africa here today, and it's in this box. Yeah, sorry, no rhinos, can't fit in the car. So, for this animal, I am going to need a brave and strong volunteer who thinks that they can handle a giant African animal. All right, let's see. We got a lot of opportunities here. A lot of options. All right, to make this a little easier, I'm going to give you one more criteria. I need a really strong, really brave person with gross, dirty, unwashed hands. If your hands are gross, you guys should not be that excited about having gross hands. Wash your hands. All right, let's see. I've got a lot of people who want it, so I think we're gonna go with, how about career decisions. How about my friend right here? You want to come help me out? Yeah. You don't? That's how it goes, right? How about my friend over here? Come on up. All right, and while we wait for our friend to come up, I guess I'll sing a little. No, you don't want to hear that. Let's see. Oh, we're done. I can only pick one person for this one. All right, come on up. Right onto my mat here. And what's your name, my friend? Aaliyah. Aaliyah? All right, Aaliyah, stand right here. Yeah, right in the middle. Yeah. All right, not there though. No, not there either. No, not there. Perfect. All right. Now, Aaliyah, you said you have gross, dirty hands? Okay. All right, can you just repeat after me? You're going to say, I. Aaliyah. Promise. That after the show, I'm gonna find a bathroom.
I'll find a bathroom.
And I'm gonna wash
I'm gonna wash
my dirty,
my dirty
disgusting hands.
hands.
All right. Yeah, round of applause. Now, Aaliyah, this is the one time having gross, disgusting, dirty hands is gonna benefit you. Do you know why do you have any guesses why I need someone with gross hands? No idea? All right, anyone wanna guess why I need someone with gross hands to help me out? Let's see, what do you think?
Because it's probably a gross, very gross, like lizard or snake.
Because it's a gross lizard or snake. Well, you're kind of right. It is a little gross, but it's not a lizard or a snake. This is our giant African bullfrog. This is Jelly Belly. Now, Aaliyah, would you like to hold Jelly Belly? All right, both hands together for me, just like that. Now, Jelly Belly, the giant African bullfrog, is the second largest frog in the world, and Jelly Belly is actually a pretty small one. Those frogs can get about the size of your car's steering wheel. Now, there we go. I've got it. Very good job. Aaliyah, here is a napkin for you to begin your cleaning your hands journey. All right, well, thank you so much. Everyone give Aaliyah a giant round of applause for helping out. Now, the reason I needed someone with dirty, disgusting hands is because frogs breathe through their skin. And someone with clean hands might, on their hands, have some gross stuff. Hand sanitizer, soap, not so much this time of year, but maybe sunscreen, bug spray, chlorine, pizza grease, Cheeto dust. Doesn't matter, it might be on your hands. And even if Aaliyah had some of that stuff on their hands, that is totally okay, totally good, because we're the only two who get to hold her. Jelly Belly here does not get to be held by anybody else, because that could be dangerous. Jelly Belly does have a little bit of a protective coat. That is called their slime coat. They're a little slimy. But it's actually not slime. Does anyone know what it is? It's mucus. Somebody's seen Princess and the Frog. Now, it's actually mucus, and it's a mucus coating. For anyone here not know what mucus is? It's boogers and spit. So frogs have a booger coat, and it keeps them nice and safe. Now, if I let everyone in here touch these frogs, that slime coat goes away, and eventually what happens is that frog starts to breathe in anything bad on your hands, which is really bad for them. Now, Jelly Belly here is a giant African bullfrog. The giant African bullfrog is, of course, from Africa. They actually live in a part of the world where frogs kind of shouldn't exist, because they live right on the edge of the Sahara. Now, the Sahara is a desert, and deserts are notoriously lacking what? What do deserts not have a lot of in it? Water. And what do frogs need to survive? They need water. So if there was no water, it's kind of a bad place for a frog to be, right? Well, these guys have figured out how to survive that by digging tiny little pools of water. And in those tiny little pools of water, they lay about 50,000 eggs. And once mom lays those 50,000 eggs, mom's out. She dips, she goes, she doesn't pay child support, she's gone. She leaves dad in charge. Dad is now in charge of those babies. He makes the habitat bigger and bigger and bigger as they grow. He makes sure that nothing eats them. He makes sure that they get to a nice, healthy adult size before they have to go to sleep for 6 months. Once those babies start to grow, they need to immediately get ready to hibernate for 6 months. Now, who here would like to hibernate for 6 months? Go to sleep 6 months. Sounds awesome, right? Now, before they need to hibernate, who here wants to eat a giant meal and then go to sleep for 6 months? That sounds amazing. I would love that. Right? Miss all of winter? That sounds perfect. But Jelly Belly here, they do it and they need to find food. Well, it turns out there's not a whole lot of food around. Except they were raising food all along. Jelly Belly will then take the first 100 or so of those babies that come out of the water and come onto land, and he gobbles them up. That's his meal. He eats his own kids. These guys are cannibals. It's crazy. Once they eat those kids, then they can dig underground and go to sleep. All right, now let's see. Who here still wants to live the life of Jelly Belly? You go to sleep for 6 months, but you have to eat your kids first. We still got hands. All right. Well, there is one more thing they have to do. I see some dads kind of like, maybe. Now, the last thing that they have to do is they have to make sure they don't dry out. So you want to know how they do that? They pee all over themselves. Yeah. These frogs will pee all over themselves. They coat themselves in a pee cocoon. That way they don't dry out. Now who here wants to do it? Anyone here still want to live the life of Jelly Belly? You got to eat your kids and pee on yourself? Still some hands. All right, well, here's the last part. When they wake up, they actually can sense water. And as soon as the first raindrop hits the ground, they all will wake up kind of in unison. They climb out. Well, they have to eat something. You want to know what the first thing they eat is? They eat that pee cocoon right off. They got to gobble up all that dried pee, and that's their first meal of the year. Now, is anyone still in? And we still have hands. You guys are insane. All right, well, that's a little bit about Jelly Belly. Now, Jelly Belly is a frog, and frogs are one of the most popular animals in the world. Who here likes frogs? Raise your hand if you like frogs. I love frogs. Frogs are awesome. Now, who here hates frogs and wish that we would live in a world without them? We have one. Now, if you believe that we are better off without frogs, then you are unfortunately getting your way. And that's because frogs are actually going extinct faster than any other animal on the planet. Frogs are going extinct. We've lost We've lost around 500 species in the last 5 years. Or last 50 years, sorry. 500 species in the last 50 years. That's a lot of frogs. And we're projected in the next 50 years to lose another 1,000 species of frogs. So there's a lot of reasons for that. Habitat loss, pollution, climate change, collection for captivity, and of course disease, all of those big reasons. And all of those are causing frogs to go extinct, but there is one way that we can help frogs. You guys want to learn how to help frogs? Yeah. What you guys do, change your sunscreen. Swap sunscreen, buy reef safe sunscreen, and you're gonna help those frogs a lot. All right, guys, we have a couple more animals. I'm gonna start off with our Australian animal. We're gonna skip Asia. Then we'll do Asia, and then we'll wrap up with our Australian animal, with our European animal that you guys can all touch. But real quick, this is our Australian animal. Come on out, buddy. Here he is. So this guy here, anyone know what he is? He is not a kangaroo. He's not a kangaroo. Instead, he's a kangaroo's smaller cousin. He's a wallaby. Good job. Now this here is Mr. Bing. Mr. Bing is our 1.5-year-old wallaby. He was born during the pandemic, or a little after the pandemic in 2021, early 2021. And he was born because during that period where we were all in lockdown, his mom, who lived at a facility like our own, she was kind of lonely because she wasn't going out and meeting people, and she didn't really have any friends. So what ended up happening is the people who owned her ended up getting her another friend. It was another girl wallaby. They put them together, and then a couple months later learned that it wasn't another girl wallaby. And Mr. Bing was born. Well, unfortunately, his mom got scared, wasn't ready to have a baby, and so she flipped the pouch inside out. She then left Mr. Bing for dead. And unfortunately, that happens all the time in the wild because wallabies have up to 3 babies at a time. They have one developing inside, one in the pouch, and one outside walking around. Now, if you're being chased by an animal that wants to eat you, and you've got 3 babies, you want to know what you do to keep yourself alive? You throw a baby at whatever's eating you. And it's really sad. It's something that we couldn't imagine doing, but it's better for the wallabies because you know what happens if you get eaten? All 3 of your babies die. You know what happens if one baby gets eaten? You and 2 of your others survive. So unfortunately, to wallabies, that makes absolute sense. And Mr. Bing was a casualty of that. Nothing was trying to eat him, but she did get startled. Now, oh, we can't touch him though, okay? Now, Mr. Bing, he ended up coming to us. I carried him around in a pouch. Mr. Bing would go into the pouch. He would get buckled up in the front seat. He would jump out going 85 down 95. He'd then be hopping around the car as I'm trying to pull off into the breakdown lane. Forgetting that in Massachusetts, on 495, you can travel in the breakdown lane. So those were always fun experiences. Now, Mr. Bing also got me a lot of free drinks in Starbucks drive-thrus. Now, Mr. Bing is a marsupial, so Mom does have a pouch. Do you guys think Mr. Bing has a pouch? Why doesn't Mr. Bing have a pouch?
Because he's a male.
Because he's a boy. Girl wallabies, they have pouches for babies. If boy wallabies had pouches, they'd carry around like the TV remote, a bag of chips, that sort of thing. Now, Mr. Bing is going to go away here in just a second, but did you guys enjoy Mr. Bing? Yeah, he's a big popular one. All right, Bingus, let's go. Come on, Bubba. Now, you guys probably notice I'm maneuvering him by his tail. And some of you guys might be like, that hurts him, don't do that. Well, I promise you it doesn't. In fact, that tail is strong enough that they can stand up on it, lift both their feet off the ground, and kick with their feet while balancing on their tail. Mom Wallaby will grab that tail if he's ever getting in trouble, and she'll just drag him away. So those tails are very, very tough, and it's actually kind of comforting to have support on that tail. All right, guys, we're going to hit our Asian animal. So for that, I need 8 volunteers to help me out. All right, let's see. Got a lot of volunteers. All right, how about 1 in the Patriot shirt? 2, 3, Captain America. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so if I picked you, come on up. Yeah, come on, guys. All the way up here. All right, as you go by, what's your name?
John.
John, right down at the end.
Molly.
What was that?
Molly.
Molly, right next to John. Aubrey, right next to Molly. Lily, right next to, forgot already.
Bodie.
Titus.
Lucy.
And what's your name, buddy? What's your name? Dawson. All right, Dawson, right here. All right, now Dawson. Woo. Yeah, Dawson, you can go wherever you want, buddy. Right in the middle. Oh, you got to get in the line, though. You want to get in the line right here? All right, now Dawson, I see you have an animal in your hand. Can you just put that right on the table? Because you're going to need both hands.
Is there a bunny rabbit? Is there a cow?
What kind of, that's a cow, just like what you have in your hand.
Is that a cow?
That is a cow.
What color is it?
That's a cow. Yeah, can I take your cow real quick? I promise I'll give it back. Oh, we're gonna shake hands? I promise I'll give it back. Do you want to just hold on? All right. You want to give it to him? All right, Dawson, can you stand right? All right, buddy, come on, I'm gonna just put you right here. All right, can you guys squeeze in? Make sure Dawson's nice and comfortable. Everyone squeeze in nice and close together because I'm gonna introduce you guys to our Asian animal. This guy is my buddy Hercules. Oh yeah? Do you not want to hold him?
I want to hold him. Snake.
It's a snake, yeah. Can you go right here?
I love snakes.
All right, guys. So.
I hold him single.
No, we're not holding him single. All right, so this is Hercules. Hercules is our Burmese python, and you guys are the lucky ones who get to hold him.
Yay!
Now, before I do, does anyone want to go sit back down and not want to hold him? You don't want, all right, you can get going, that's okay. Hold on, before you go, John, right? Can you pick somebody to come take your place? Anyone who's got their hands up. Just go tap them on the shoulder. All right. Anybody else want to go sit back down? You guys are all free to go sit back down. Anybody else want to go sit down? All right, you guys all ready? Who is most comfortable being next to the head?
Me.
All right. So you were the first one to raise your hand. You have a snake on your head already.
Yeah, I have a snake on my house.
Alright, so we're going to put it here for you. It's still very close to the grocery. Can you put your right here?
We have the head in.
Just like that.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Squeeze in a little bit for me. What was your name, my friend?
Emmett.
Emmett. All right. All right. Are you guys ready to hold Hercules?
Yes.
All right. Don't take the mic.
Dude, this thing looks so. I have 5 snakes up
You
my
have
ass.
5 snakes?
Yeah.
Probably nothing this big though,
No,
right?
I have one. I used to have one that big, but it died.
There we go. All right, Dawson, you gotta back up a little bit for me, buddy. All right,
Oh my god. Is it
here we go. Squeeze in really tight for me, guys. There we are. All right, everyone smile for all the cameras out there.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's the big circle one in the middle, everybody. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna take her back. Everyone give our brave volunteers a giant round of applause. All right, you guys can take a bow and then get on out of here. All right, now Hercules here, he is a Burmese python, and Hercules is one of the smaller of the subspecies. He only gets about 8 feet long, but girls can get about 10. Why might girl snakes get bigger than boy snakes? Anyone have any idea? What do you think? Because what? No. Why might girls be bigger than boys in snakes? Because girls what? The girls have the babies, exactly. So, girl snakes get bigger because they can't exactly have a big pregnant belly like other animals can. If they did, they just kind of wobble everywhere. They wouldn't be able to move very well. So girl snakes, they get bigger and longer. So a girl Burmese python like this can get 10 feet, but the mainland Burmese python, they can get about 30 feet long. So, they are the 3rd largest snake in the world. Now I'm gonna bring him around really quick, and my friends in the front row, you guys can touch him if you'd like to. Just right here on the tail. So I'm gonna go really quick. And then I do have one last animal that's gonna get to come out and be touched as well. So please just do remain seated for that once you pat the snake. I'm gonna come over there, guys. You don't have to crowd all the way. Don't grab though, just be really gentle.
He feels so cool. He's so smooth.
Now, snakes are unfortunately one of the most hated animals in the world. We here in New Hampshire, we do have one venomous snake. It's called the timber rattlesnake. They are very rare. You don't see them very often at all.
I have a rattlesnake.
But those timber rattlesnakes, believe it or not, protect moose. Because timber rattlesnakes eat rodents, which carry ticks. And those ticks kill moose. So without those rattlesnakes, our moose populations get hurt. These guys here, they are not venomous. They are constrictors. All right, guys, I am gonna put Hercules away, so I'm gonna say bye, Hercules. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, with that said, we are almost completed our global tour. Can I have everyone just back up for me a little bit? Yep, right off the stage. Back up, back up. Everyone back up, everyone back up. All right, I'm gonna introduce you to our last animal in just a second, but before that, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming out and seeing us today. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah. Did you guys all have fun today? Awesome. Did anyone here learn anything new today? Awesome. Is anyone gonna remember anything I taught you today? I appreciate the honesty from both sides. With that said, if you guys did enjoy the show today, my name is Colby. If you hated the show today and it was the worst thing you've ever seen, my name is Derek. Our last animal is going to be our European animal. And you might remember her from last year. This here is my friend Maggie. Maggie is our Flemish giant rabbit. She is 14 years old. She loves being pat. When you do so, please just don't pat her face, just her back. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you have a happy new year. All right, guys.